on the trail. Been walking for about 2 hours now, but the air suddenly changed. It wasn't supposed to rain till starting at 5, but it just suddenly got really cool, and I'm trying to get drenched out here. This is a trail, there's a down here, but I'm not going through that. There's no pathway down here to look at. I walked to this part already. I'm just basically doubling on myself now because I feel like it's going to rain soon and I don't want to get drenched out here. So I think I'm going to start heading back. But it's going to take me about an hour and a half to get home anyway, so there's a possibility that I'm going to be out here like a drowned rat. I didn't bring my stick, so it's annoying holding my phone like this. So what are you all doing? Outside getting some air or sitting down watching your phone? Go outside and breathe some fresh air. There's a stream down here. Let me show it to you. Yeah. I filmed a pelican down here a couple of days ago. So the water's really clean. They worked on it a lot because it was just messy and mucky, and some complete degenerate threw a huge box of Tide in here, and I actually called it in because all the water was soapy. They had to drain it for miles. It was crazy, like one of those jumbo boxes. Yeah. And there were dead fish, and oh my god, it was just tragic. People are just so abominable. But now, it's taken a couple of years, but now you see fish in here. Because the pelican was catching fish the other day. So it's the first time I've seen it clean like this in a long time. So lovely. Just don't understand. People just don't understand how the ecosystem works. You just can't destroy the earth and think you're good. Weird. Okay, let me come out of here. I wish I had my stick. It's so awkward holding the phone. So I'm gonna keep walking this way, and don't you love fresh air? Even if you're not feeling well, just go outside, find a little park somewhere and just go sit on a bench outside somewhere. You'll feel better, trust me. Just to breathe some air. Or find a park. Sometimes I just go, sometimes I'm just, there's a lot of coyotes and stuff, so you can see them around here, but so I don't like walking when it gets dusky or like super, super early in the morning. But sometimes if I feel like I don't want to walk here, because I had a stalker issue before, I'll walk around like really old neighborhoods that have some really beautiful old houses with like nice architecture. I walk through those old neighborhoods. I can't walk on like the street where there's a bunch of condos and stuff and traffic. Yeah, I feel like I can't breathe. So yeah, even if you don't have a park near you, find like an old little neighborhood just somewhere where you can take a walk, a little quiet, or even just learn where you live. Like, I think it's amazing how many people don't know the streets around where they live. They know like how they get in and out, especially if you drive. They know, maybe 1 or 2 ways that you get to your house, but all the little side streets, and they have no idea. There's about half a dozen ways that I could get home. And just as a woman walking around, it's a good idea not to just have the same patterns and walk the same way and at the same time all the time, because then the weirdos and stalkers, which I had for like 2 solid years, get to know your patterns. So you should always, if you're walking and you start to feel like something weird neighborhoods going on that you can take another street and you're not, walking into a dead end or something or a cul-de-sac, right? It's not a horror movie. So you have to know, like, okay, I can go this way and I'll take that way. So that I explore a lot of different routes. And thing is, I'm not afraid to get lost, so to speak. I don't consider it lost because if I'm walking around a neighborhood where there's lots of traffic, this is not isolated areas. We're not talking about like when you get deep on the trail where there's nobody around. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in a neighborhood. Like, I'll walk around and I'll be like, okay, let me see where this road goes. A couple different connected roads. Let me go left instead of right. And then I just see where it goes. Eventually, all this, I don't know, maybe it's not the same where you live, but around those old neighborhoods, they're all connected. Like, they'll have all the roads beginning with men's names, beginning with H or M, or, you know what I mean? So, you can figure out, okay, if I keep following these H roads, it'll lead to the I road that I know, right? So you can always find your way. But if you've only got one way to go and that's all you know, it's pretty dangerous if you start, because people start freaking out and, walking in random places and then you realize you're lost. Yeah, I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Obviously, the time to explore is not if you think some weirdo is following you, right? That would not be the time to do it. It's so nice out here. This amazing tree. But yeah, make sure you have like lots of different ways that to walk so you feel safe. Hello. Hi. Yeah, always have, different ways you can go. If you think someone's following behind you somewhere, you know what I mean? If you get to a little crossroads, you turn on a corner and they can't see you, start running and then take a different way than you normally take, right? But you know where that's going to end up. Go down here. They must have chopped down a couple of trees here because this clearing wasn't here before like that. But you see how the roots are exposed over there on those trees? Yeah, see over here? The roots of the tree are exposed. Yeah. They've been working on those sides here because over there was a lot of times where it would get flooded. So I think they've taken away some of the sides, but I don't know what's going to happen to the trees with the roots exposed like that. I hope they're not going to die because of it. But they've definitely see where it's all kind of white and sandy. They had trees there before, so they've definitely moved it back because this is a place that floods all the time during spring or autumn. And then they end up having to put these big sandbags there. So I think they've done that. Even right here, you can see all the roots exposed. I think they've cut it back so that doesn't happen. I want to get mud in my trainers. Alright. They're coming out. This area right here, it's kind of like covered by the trees. You see that? It's kind of like a tunnel. See that? So there's trees going over top of you and then over there. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a couple 100 feet, maybe 200 feet or something long. But when it gets dusky, it gets really dark under here, right? It gets really dark. And there's no light. There's a light in here, but they're very dim and they're very far apart. So they hardly shed any light. And one of the times when I was being stalked, I should have, you see, let me show you. See, going up further there's a road up there. I was coming down and I seen this person. I felt like they were following me, but I wasn't certain. What I should have done is gone up there to like the left up there where the road was. But for some reason, I came through here, right? I came through here and it was dark, so I probably got around here. And then I went in my bag and I had some stuff on it, like keys and stuff. And I had some pepper spray and I got it out and I had it in my hand. But I had it in my hand, but I was holding my hand down so he could see it. Because he was maybe where that tree is over. Kind of, see that tree, how it's going over? It comes over. I was down, he was down there. And I was maybe up here. And oh my God. It was so terrifying. If anyone's ever followed you like that, it's freaking terrifying. And then when I got out, see, like, kind of where the tunnel ends, and then I made a dash for it under a tree because it started pouring with rain. And then I called someone. I actually called my pastor, and he was like, walk towards him, because I was like going, oh my God. He was like, walk towards him. And as soon as I turned and took a step back towards him, no, when I turned around, he was sitting on the bench back there, and he had a hoodie on, and he had the hoodie up, so he'd gone in his backpack, because before he had a white t-shirt on. When I turned around, he had gone in his backpack he was carrying it and taken out a black hoodie and put it on, and yeah, right, like suited up, and had the hoodie up. Oh my God, I think my heart just dropped to my ass when I seen that. And he was like, yeah, walk towards him. So we were probably 100 feet apart at that point. So I went on the path, and this guy's tall, maybe like 6'3", because I seen him after that. So let's say the bench was like on the side here, right? And say I'm up further back at the end over there. So I was under a tree, like it was pouring with rain. I was under a tree, and as soon as I stepped out back onto the pathway, and he saw me walking in, I was going to walk in his direction. He got up in maybe 2 paces because he was so tall. He walked across the path, and there was where it was, there was all bush. Now they've cut. See this? They've cut all these bushes away, but all of this was bush. Like you couldn't see through to like the stream. So he walked and disappeared into the bush. This guy vanished into the bush. So I was like, oh my God, I can't see. Because that was worse, that I couldn't see him, right? And he was like, just keep walking. And then this little white guy appeared from nowhere. And I walk on this path all the time, and you tend to see the same people. I've never seen him before. Little short guy wearing a whole business suit and carrying a briefcase with leather shoes on in torrential downpour. And I was like, God just sent someone, because I just seen him and I felt immediately safe. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, he looks shady. You know what I mean? This guy's just strolling through a storm with his whole suit on. Like he was strolling on a summer's day, right? So I ran up to him and I asked him to walk me back. So he walked me through the rest of this place, and he walked me up all the way up to here. And I was like, thanks. He was like, oh, okay. I don't think he said his name or anything, but he walked me up to this part. And I was like, and then as I walked off, I realized, because I was wearing like a thin t-shirt, I realized, yeah, I looked like I was in a wet t-shirt contest. Oh my God. But yeah, that was my stalker. That was the worst. He didn't stop stalking me then, but that was the worst incident that I had with him, that I was so freaking terrified. After that, I just got like angry about it. Like, who is this filthy bastard taking away my peace and serenity while I walk? So, because walking home from here, and I took the shortcut. Like I crossed over a road over there. I didn't go this way. It still took me another hour to get home. So I was like shaking the entire way home. Like, I don't think I've ever been that scared before. And so I got home, and for I think a week, I didn't go out walking. I was like scared all the time if I had to go somewhere. And then I just got angry about it. I got pissed. I was like, this is like, no. I'm a walker. That's, you know what I mean? I walk everywhere all the time. Like I walk 3 and 4 hours at a time, right? Like they're taking away what I love to do. So never mind though. My heart was still in my asshole when I went out. But I started, but I didn't at first. I just went different places. That's when I started exploring more and going different ways. I didn't come back on the actual trail. for a good while. I think it was a few months. And then when I did, normally I have in my earphones. I would walk around, but I would only have one earphone in so I could hear if anyone walked up on me. And if anybody came by me, whether they were walking, running, on a bike, and I hadn't heard them, I would jump out my skin. Yeah, I would literally jump out my skin. Like, oh my God, it was awful. So it took me a good while to get over that. And then I started to literally bump into this horrendous human being all the time. And so one time I seen him and I was behind him and he was looking behind at me. And I knew exactly what he looked like. And so I started walking behind him. Like I felt so emboldened, like, oh, let me see how you like it when I walk behind you. Until I started to come to this really secluded area and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? What, are you going to follow him down there? Like, stop. Like, what are you thinking about? So I was just like, let me just turn around. And then I was in the supermarket, right? And it was like I was on a walk, and sometimes when I'm walking, I'll like stop and buy like an apple or something on my way, or water or whatever. So I was there and I turned around and I saw him like right close to the cash, and I was so enraged. Like, how are they allowing you here? Why are you in here shopping? You don't get to buy food. You don't get to do normal things when you terrorize people. No, I was so enraged. So I took out my phone so I could like take a picture of him and film him. Let me tell you something. My hand was shaking so much. He doesn't realize. He didn't realize it. But all the pictures of him were naff. None of them were any good because they were all blurred. Because my hand was shaking so hard, I could. But he doesn't know. He didn't know that, right? He obviously just thought I had his picture. So, but yeah. And then he came from around the cash register. He was in line, and then he walked. He walked. There was about 5-6 feet between us, but he came and he walked backwards, and he was like, "Oh, do I know you?" And I was like really quiet though, like, "Do I know you?" Right? Because some people had noticed that I was like holding the phone up filming. He was like, "Oh, do I know you?" And I was like, "Do you know me? What do you mean, do you know me? You've been following me for like last year. What are you talking?" Right? So he quickly exited. He got out of there real fast. And then whenever I saw him, I always went out of my way to pull out my phone and like I'm filming you all the time. And I know what you look like. So I would still see him, but he never. At least I never caught him following me again. But it was like a 2-year ordeal. Flipping 2 years. So like, God. Someone says that someone's following or stalking them, like, I take it seriously. Like, it can mess up your mental, like, so badly. You know what I mean? Like, you just have no peace. And it took me a couple years before I would like wear both of my earphones. When I was, most of them were like noise cancelling. I was literally too afraid. So it took me a good while. But eventually I conquered the trail again. Oh, and one day, when I'd mostly gotten over being afraid of him, I was on the second part of the trail. This is like the first part of the trail where you can still see houses and stuff around. There's a further part, but it takes, I didn't know that it was going, so I just kept doing that. But the second part of the trail, you get there after about an hour and a half, and it ends up at a lake that you walk around, right? Circle around the lake and then come back. So altogether, it's about 22 kilometers, right? So one day, I decided, when you do it 3-4 times a week, like your fitness level is real good. So I was like, one day I was like, when I get to the lake, there's a little park, and I seen there's a little pathway through the park. So I decided, let me go and explore it. So I went, and it was like, oh, there's another extension to the trail. It continues after you go through this little park. So I'm like, 4 kilometers. And I was like, what's 4 kilometers added on, right? What I wasn't thinking, I was thinking, yeah, 2 kilometers and then another 2 kilometers there, like in and then come back. No, it was 4 kilometers to the very end and then then four. So it's actually another 8 kilometers. Now, another walking 22 and then walking 30. Yeah, okay. It was a hot day. And don't call me crazy, don't like kill me, but I don't walk with a bunch of water and stuff, right? I just walk, power it out, come home, drink water, do whatever, right? So I don't bring anything other than a pouch for my phone, my earphones, like, some Kleenex. That's about it. I don't bring supplies, right? So I've never gotten dehydrated in my life. That was the first time, so I've never experienced what it's like. So once I did the extra 4 and then came back, so then that's 8 right there, right? And now I'm back at the lake, and I still have another 11 kilometers to get home. So I was walking and I started to feel a bit sick, right? I started to feel a bit sick. So I'm like, oh. And mind you, when I walk, not only don't I take food, water, I don't stop. I don't sit down. I don't do any of that, right? I just go, come, go. No matter if I start to feel bad, I get a pain somewhere, you get a niggle in your side, right? You get a stitch or something. No, I don't stop, right? Because once you stop, it's always harder to get up. So I never stop. I just walk, power it out. I started to feel so sick. I felt faint. I actually felt faint. So I was like, oh my God, I have to sit down. So I found a bench, I sat down, and then I was like, God, you have to get up. You can't just sit here. You got like hours before you get home, right? You can't keep sitting here. So I was like, get up, right? And I felt dizzy when I got up, and I realized like my throat was like, I couldn't really even speak. It looked like you're dehydrated, right? And so I was like, oh my God, what possessed me to walk that extra distance when you didn't have anyways? I was like, okay, and me, when I walk, my phone is always in my pouch. Now I'm recording, so obviously not, but normally it's in my pouch and I'm just listening to music. I don't look at my phone. Sometimes I don't answer it when people call me. No, right? So I just, I'm always looking up. Like, and when people look at the ground when they walk, I look up because I'm looking at the scenery, the trees, the streams, the deer running by, whatever, right? I'm always looking at the scenery, so my head's always up. I say hello to people, right? I was like, I couldn't look up because I was like, every time I looked up in my mind, I've walked it so many times, I can visualize, right, the whole trip in my mind. So I was like, oh my God, I still have this much to go. I still have that much to go. So then I was like, I'm just going to look at the ground. So I was walking like this, looking at the ground, just looking at the ground, right? So then I would lose track of where I was so I could get my mind off of it. I literally had to stop at every bench and take a seat. I had to stop at every bench and just take a seat just for a minute just to steady myself because I just felt like I was going to pass out. Then we came on this long stretch, like I can't compare it to something. Let's say I'm like right here. See down at the very end, there's like a goal post because it's like a football pitch over here, right? Let's say all the way down at the very end, right? I'm looking and there's a bench. And like I said, this guy who was stalking me was lanky. He's like 6'3", maybe 6'4", and very thin, lanky, right? And a lot of times I would see him, he'd always be sitting down and he would have his legs straight out, right? Like straight out, and his ankles crossed. So I could always tell his posture when I seen him somewhere sitting. So I'm walking and I look and I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? But he was never normally that deep into the trail. He was at this type of part. He was never on the second part. He was on the second part the day when I feel like I'm about to pass out, right? So I see him sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And this is after he had stopped following me, after we had the incident in the supermarket, right? But I'm like, I don't want to walk past him. You know, predators, right? They're always looking for the weak, the prey, the injured, right? So I was like, I'm not going to walk past this guy limping, looking like I'm about to pass out. So let me tell you how I just had to gather myself. I'm telling you, sometimes you just don't understand, like, what kind of power God's put in you, like, how powerful you are, because I just gathered myself and I started, and people, when they see me walking, they're like, oh my God, you're always walking so fast, marching along. Yeah, I'm a fast walker. Not right now because I'm speaking, but I'm a fast walker, right? Like, I power walk out all the time. And, I just started walking like I was good. On the inside, I was absolutely dying. What I say? I was in pieces. I was in pieces on the inside. But on the outside, I was like, I had my head up, right? And and then I put my phone up and I pretended I was having a conversation. I didn't even want to speak to anybody because anyone that really knows me would know that there was something wrong with me by my voice. So I just feigned a conversation, right? Whatever. I'm having a conversation with myself as I'm going by, right? But as I'm going by, I make sure that I look at him. And you know what he does? He takes his t-shirt. He was wearing a white t-shirt. He pulls it up over his head, like hiding his face. Like, I already know who you are, mate. Like, right? Yeah, I know exactly who you are. But I walked by and I was looking at him as I went by, and he kept it on. Took the shirt down and I turned around and looked at him and I held my phone up as if, again, I was taking a picture of him, right? But he just stayed on the bench. And let me tell you, there was about another 50 feet or so before there was a actual bend, right? There was a bend, like a left, there was a right turn, there was a bend. So I knew once I hit the bend, he wouldn't be able to see me anymore. It was like when I got around that bend, oh my God, I was like doubled over. Do you know what I mean? Like the effort that it took me to just walk straight like I was good. It was crazy. That was the worst day. So I just, like I said, I walked. It took me, normally that distance to get back home would take me about an hour and a half. It took me 3 hours to get home. So 3 hours. So the whole day I was out for like 4.5 hours. It took me 3 hours to get home, right? Because I was walking so slowly. Like I thought I was gonna, I didn't think I was gonna make it. If I had had like money on me or something, or I could have taken my Uber, so trust me, I would have done it. But I just didn't have any of that set up, so I had to walk it. Yeah, I was dying. I got blisters on the back of my ankles. You know, the ones that have like liquid in them that you just can't touch because if they burst, it's over for you. Yeah, that's what happened. So that was my story of my stalker. Hopefully he got whatever was coming to him. And the sky's looking a little suspect. I think it might. There's a lot of people coming on this way. There's a patch over here where every year there used to be cherry blossoms. Oh, so beautiful, like fuchsia and white. And I don't know what happened to them. Since COVID happened, they've never grown in the same. They used to be beautiful and like fragrant, all of that. Now they're patchy. It was like a week and the blossoms were falling off, all gone. And the color was just makes me sad. Just makes me sad to see it. Because I don't know why that happened or if they're ever going to come back again like they used to be or not. But I guess only time will tell. Yeah, they've been digging out a lot and getting rid of the trees. There did used to be all these open spaces before, just to make sure it doesn't flood. This is about when I saw that pelican yesterday. Yeah, this is exactly where I saw that pelican. It was over here. No, there's a duck over here. Yeah. It's so lovely to see the water like clear though. Yeah, they've cleared a lot of trees out. I hope it's for a good purpose. Yeah, and I see all these rocks that they've put here on the sides here, built up with the yeah those didn't used to be here, so they built it up with all these rocks to like fortify it, and like right at the edge there, see all those open spaces were all trees. They were all trees before, and I don't mind as long as it's for good purpose. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end my life because there's like 9,000 people standing under the like not blossoming cherry blossom trees, taking pictures. Oh, and these assholes are like sitting on branches on the trees. Like these people, like you can't just like. Could you imagine if you were walking somewhere and someone just like pushed you over and sat on you to take a pic? Like you can't just climb on a tree and be breaking off, just pulling off cherry blossoms that are in your way. Like, God, degenerate. I'm gonna finish it here because, like I said, there's a whole mob of people up there. Weirdos are taking 9,000 pictures on their phone that will never be off their phone. Then you want to hand me your filthy phone, want me to scroll through it. No, that would be a no for me. See that? See how clear it is now? Yeah. Love it. So all these rocks and stuff, they've been like fortifying it or taking it. So I like that. It's so nice. So this stream goes up the whole way, the whole trail that I talk about walking on. Yeah, so this goes up all the way. And then at the what we call the end of it, there's a lake. And then I usually circle the lake and then come back home. But like I say, it's in two halves, and there's a road that cuts it in half. I mean, the trail obviously the stream goes under like a bridge, but yeah, you have to cross a road. But because I don't want to get drenched, I did about the same distance, but I just doubled back on the smaller part of the trail. But the other part of my trail is my favorite because the other part of the trail is just like all this, just trail, no houses, you can't hear any traffic, and less people too. Not that I'm adverse to people, I like you people, but just the people who just come out to walk for sport, like, and go massacre cherry blossoms. But it's like when spring comes and then you see the people that are springtime visitors at the gym. They just come for like, they're at the gym for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then they'll be gone. You'll never see them again for the rest of the year. This is what it's like right now on this trail. It's full of all these people that like 2 weeks from now, none of them will be on here. You see the same people, you say hello to that, you see the same people, you get to know them, you know some of their names. These people that you're seeing right here, quick flash, yeah, they won't be here. I absolutely guarantee it. They will not be here. And it's getting a little chilly. So I'm going to take my live off. And I hope you're doing something nice with your Saturday. I hope you did something good. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Something, right? Did something nice. And thank you so much for listening with me on my live. Have a blessed day. Do something healthy, eat something good, have some fun, maybe go to the cinema, do something with somebody, or do something fun by yourself if there's no one to do it with. Take care of yourself, and I'm out. Take care.